Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is directed by Jeff Fowler and stars Jim Carrey, James Marsden, the voices of Idris Elba, Ben Schwartz, and among others. And this story, it takes place after the events of the first Sonic, where Sonic is basically having to team up with another friendly creature that comes from his world, that comes in, that's named Tails, who warns him about this emerald that they're trying to stop, that's trying to be obtained by the hands of Dr. Robotnik, who returns from, played by Jim Carrey again, and also this other creature that they encounter that's called Knuckles, that's voiced by Idris Elba. And along the way, they end up having to essentially stop it before Dr. Robotnik gets a hold of it, or basically the whole universe will essentially be in danger. Now, here's a little backstory. Now, this is a film that I was actually kind of interested after a while, because I remember when the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie came out, before the movie was even coming out, when I first saw the trailers, I remember not really looking forward to it, because I just felt like the design that they originally had for Sonic was pretty bad. And it was interesting how they ended up basically listening to the fans and trying to really make him look like he appeared from the video games. And while I've never really played the original Sonic video games, other than recently I played them on emulators, the first game, I can at least, see the legacy that's left behind with a lot of people that grew up with it and everything. And knowing that the first movie essentially really surprised me, it really made me interested with how they were going to do with it, especially seeing Jim Carrey return to form with his trademark style that I used to love growing up with him in the 90s for. And so with this one, it got me interested, especially with how they were essentially trying to focus more on stuff from the games and everything like that, especially bringing in new characters that are from the games and also elements that are from the games. And so and also seeing, from what I also heard, was that Jim Carrey said that this was going to be his last film before he retires. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, if it is, then I can honestly say at least he went out on a good high note, because upon seeing the film, I can say that I had a great time with this movie a lot. Now, I don't think it's as great as the first film, but I will say that it's definitely still a fun movie, and definitely does seem like it does, do its job with, appealing to families that want to go watch it. And especially, I haven't really played much of the games, but I'm really guessing that the stuff that they really follow from the games is a lot more on point this time. And so for those of you who have also played the Sonic series, I am curious how close this is more to the games. But to get my pros out of the way, I'll say that once again, the performances of the voices of Ben Schwartz and Idris Elba I thought were very fantastic in this, especially Idris Elba, who I thought was a great way of making this kind of tough guy kind of character with Knuckles, and giving him a lot more like elements to where he's tough, but he also has a very heart side to himself, a very heartwarming side to himself that I thought was very fascinating. He kind of, in a way, he has been a lot compared to Drax from the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and he really does showcase a lot of his skills as in the movie with his strength and everything like that, and also his humor I thought was funny too. And the chemistry between not only Sonic was very funny and cute at times, but also his chemistry with Dr. Robotnik, Jim Carrey's character, I thought was very fantastic too. And that's one of the other bright spots I really enjoy the most. And Jim Carrey I thought was a blast in this. He not only was so hilarious at times with a lot of his energy, a lot of his trademark style that he's known for, but also I like the fact that they made him look like he was in the video games a lot more this time, with his mustache, his suit. And I wonder if, because there is something later on they reveal too, there is also something that he gets in that I wonder if also from the games as well. And so I thought he was fantastic as usual, and it's a great way to end his career if this is his last movie. So he did fantastic. And then the rest of the cast were great too. I thought James Marsden and all of them were still good. I mean, they're not really getting much to do with this, and that's one of my cons I'll get into later. But I still thought that the heart was still there with the, the couple that were from the first film and everything. And then also the voices of the chemistry that's also with Tails and Sonic I thought was cute, even though there's not really much like screen time like with them together as far as the friendship aspect. But when it is on screen, it does feel very genuine. It's very cute. And one of the other things I got to really appreciate the movie the most is I like the whole adventure aspect, where we're seeing them essentially go on to different areas around the world that I thought was very fantastic. And seeing Sonic being able to essentially cope with trying to learn the ways of being essentially making new friends and stuff, I thought was a very good way to showcase his character in this, and also teaching some of the other characters along the way about it, especially with Tails. And so I thought that was great. And then of course there's also some other really the CGI is very top notch, and I like the way that the animal like features that they give from Tails, Sonic, and Knuckles I thought was spot on too. Like the first film, they don't overstay their welcome with it. I thought it looked very blended well together, and it mixes with the live action fantastically. Now, and to get my other pros, I'll say that the movie is also funny at times. There's some really good funny moments that I appreciate the movie the most, and with them essentially giving it on that very high level of energy with the way it plays out, it moves at a very fast pace. Now, if I'm going to get into some of my cons, I will say that there is some insert stuff that involves the story that they kind of really could have cut back a little bit on to not really, because it seemed like they don't really have much to do with the human characters. Because in this one, they have a subplot that goes on with James Marsden's character, where he's essentially at this wedding that takes place, and honestly, it really felt like this whole segment could have cut out completely. And there's stuff that does tie into the other stuff with Sonic and everything, but other than essentially this one scene that takes place, it really feels like there could have been really nothing that really connects it well to the other parts. And so, and also some of the lines that they give a lot of the actors in this scene and a lot of the jokes they throw in, while a couple of them are funny, it does feel like it overstays its welcome too much, and it really could have been cut out completely. Because the movie does run almost just barely over 2 hours. Well, about 2 hours and a few minutes, and they really could have cut down a lot of that, and it wasn't really needed. And so that was one of my only issues I really had with the film. And also, there seems like there was a lot more stuff that we could have really spent more time with, especially with Sonic and his friendship that develops with Tails. But I'm sure probably in the next film, since they're probably going to make another one, we'll probably get to see more of that aspect, especially when also some other stuff that they'll set up with the, I'm not going to go in detail, but let's say there's a post-credit scene that I also hear is big in the video games too, so that's got me interested as well in the next one. But other than that, though, I mean, I still thought the movie was still very entertaining, and while it does have its issues with it also being very, kind of deviating with it very being predictable at times, and trying to, kind of predictable of where it goes in certain places, and also having some of the humor that doesn't work every time, I still thought it was a fun ride, and with that, I still had a good time with it, and I'm going to give the movie a high compelling grade on the Film Phreeks meter. So, those of you who've also seen Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and also the first Sonic Hedgehog, the Hedgehog game, the movie, sorry, and also played the video games, let me know in the comments below what you thought about it, and thank you so much for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you in my next review. I'll see you later.